Moin! Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's Mace, coming to you from Canada. Hope you enjoy today's video. We're checking out this video, 7 Things America Should Learn from Germany. These are always interesting to relate to, more so as a North American. I think, relate to quite a bit of it from the American perspective. Not always. It doesn't always line up perfectly. We have a lot of similarities with the Americans, the U.S. Americans, but we also have a whole lot of differences. Let's see when this video was published. It was 4 years old, so yeah, a little bit dated, but still interesting to take a look at. Leave a comment down below for the algo and ergo. Let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Chris checking in with another video, and in today's video we're going to talk about places where Germany has it right compared to the United States. If this is your first time watching my video, I am Chris. I am from Michigan. I am an expat in Germany. I have been living in Germany for 9 months now, and on this channel I talk about everything China and everything Germany. I also want to say that over the weekend...
You say everything China and everything Germany? I wonder what he does for work. Is he ex-military or...
I also want to say that over the weekend, I have reached 200 subscribers. So thank you guys. We're growing, guys. We're creating a community. All right. So I'm really
probably
happy.
A lot more
Thank
now.
You guys so much. I appreciate it. Germans work to live and not live to work. In Germany, when you start working, no matter what job, the minimum vacation days you have is 28, which is amazing, right? And
minimum vacation days 28. Darn, that's pretty good. Ours is like definitely not that many. Ours is usually like 3 weeks, so which would equate to about, I think, 15 vacation days. Like when you start, 28 is fantastic. Holy.
When you're sick, you do not have to take your vacation days to take care of yourself. The United States, in many jobs, sometimes your work days as well as your sick days, they're put together, so it just gets really complicated. And many Americans are actually reluctant.
I feel like, at least where I work, sick days are really, really reasonable and really, really sufficient. I've never ran out of sick time or worried about using vacation time as sick time. In British Columbia, at least, there is a law that your workplace needs to provide at least a minimum of 5 paid sick days, regardless of when you started. Of course, most places of work are going to have a more robust safety net for their employees if they do get sick. And you can build up your sick hours until thousands, like over 1,000 hours of sick time. So then if you do get sick, you can use that.
To take off because of the fact that they know if they take off, then that will affect their vacation days. And it just sucks. And I realize in Germany, like, people are really, 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 really hardworking. It's like, let's get the work done. Let's work really hard now so that we can go out and we can live our best lives later. So work hard, play hard. In Germany, the food is delicious and it's inexpensive. I mean, I must admit, the majority of my time in America, I've been a student. What I do know is that buying food in the States is really expensive, and sometimes the quality is not as always good. In Germany, you can expect inexpensive, delicious, healthy food. This means no hormone-injected meat. The food is usually preservative-free. And one really cool thing is that it's very diverse and inclusive. So, for example, you have vegan milk or vegan cheese and things like that. It's really inclusive. I mean, me being in Michigan, very rarely that I think I could drink milk. Yogurt was something that I just knew that I would never be able to have because I'm lactose intolerant. But in Germany, they have lactose-free yogurt. So, I mean, I am actually...
I assume they must have also lactose-free yogurt in the States. I don't know how much the food thing is like more looking at generalizations as in like the States overall and North America probably in general, but the States especially has a lot of ingredients and practices, GMOs, a lot of standards and ingredients that are not even allowed to be used in Germany. That being said, I'm sure that they have, lactose-free yogurt and things like that. They probably have those in the States. It's just probably not as prevalent, and you really need to search for it, which is the difference. And then just overall products in Germany are going to be held to a higher standard because the people expect it. And yeah, I don't know how such poor food standards developed.
Now able to join the party, and I can even have ice cream. It's amazing because they have like a lot of lactose-free gelato, and I think that is really, really cool. So it's a very inclusive country when it comes to food, and on top of that, the food is really delicious and inexpensive.
Polizei.
This one can actually be really political, but coming from an American perspective, generally...
Oh, the Americans have a great relationship with the police. Fantastic. No problems there.
Speaking, when you encounter the police, you don't fear them. In Germany, the police officers carry guns, but they're just invisible, I feel like. You know, you see them in places like the train station, or you see them in places like the airport. There generally is no fear. And I really think that has a lot to do with the fact that in Germany, they have divided the services. So 911 in the United States is for the police, is for the ambulance.
It took me 10 years to learn this, but I'll teach.
Yeah, I feel like the Canadian police are not feared for the most part, but there's still a lot of anti-police sentiment.
Everybody, if anything goes wrong, we put all the responsibility on the police officers. And then, then the fireman comes out, and then the ambulances come out in XYZ. Whereas in Germany, there are specific numbers that you use to call specific services. So in Germany, to call the police, it's 110. To call the fire department, I have to look up the number, I don't remember it specifically, but just above our apartment, there was a flood and the fire department was called. The police didn't come, but whoever called the fire department obviously did not call the 110.
And even if, like, say it was somebody that was new to Germany or a tourist, and they called 110, they'd be able to direct their call, I'm sure, they would be able to direct their call to fire or ambulance. I wonder what happens if you dial, like, what is 911 in Germany though? Does it go anywhere?
I really think that there's less stress and less emphasis focused on the police having to be the Superman in every single situation. And I just think in the United States, we need to find a better way to address how we deal with emergencies and such. And of course, there's a racial discriminatory and, negative history associated with that. But I really do think that when I'm in Germany, I feel safe when I'm around the police. They're practically invisible. They really are in the outskirts of the community. Like, they don't get too in between everybody. They know where they are supposed to be. Germany is a safe country. And I went to Switzerland recently to visit a friend who studied with me in grad school. And I feel like it's crazy. People in Germany, people in Switzerland, people in Austria, these three countries that I visited in the past few months, nobody locks their doors. It's just unheard of to me. I mean, you could live in the safest area in the United States, but you would still lock your doors. You know what I mean?
We often don't lock our doors, but usually if we leave the house if we leave the house and nobody's home, like, we'll lock it just in case. Like, we don't want to get somebody go in there and rob the place. It's unlikely, highly unlikely. When I grew up at my parents' house, we never locked the doors. The doors are always open. There's people coming and going constantly. And but I feel like even some Germans will challenge this safety aspect. And I know this is 4 years ago, but
or for example, at night, you would close your windows. You would close your windows because, like, it's awkward that people would be looking in and, they could see some of the stuff that you have and you could potentially become a target. Whereas here in Germany, that's not the case. Munich is a pretty wealthy city, so a lot of people drive BMWs, and you see people who have Louis Vuitton bags and Versace bags and Chanel and Prada and stuff literally sitting in the car, doors unlocked. Nobody worries about that. It's very unheard of, particularly here in Munich, where you hear people breaking into houses and stuff like that. And a lot of my friends, even in different countries around, Germany, particularly South Germany, have also attested that there is no need to lock doors. This is a safe country, and yeah.
I'm curious, like, are we able to pull those up really quick? Like Munich, robbery statistics. And we have to, like, robbery and theft is a very different thing, right? Munich has a relatively low robbery crime rate compared to other major German cities and is considered safe to live in, while domestic burglaries have seen a decrease in recent years. Munich ranks lower in terms of robbery incidents than other German cities. Keep in mind, this is a AI overview. Crime in Munich, Germany. Let's see. Very low. Okay. Crime increasing the past 5 years, moderately. Worries home broken and things stolen, very low. Okay, yeah. Very, very low. Safe walking alone in the daylight, safe walking alone at night. But I don't know how anecdotal this information is here. Let's see. Robberies are obviously a more extreme form of crime. Theft is more... okay, we don't need this. Theft is probably more common.
And I said this in a last video, healthcare is lit here, okay? It takes, I mean, I'm gonna keep saying it, I'm so sorry.
Healthcare is lit.
Probably you're annoyed, like, oh my God, this American, you know, this is his first time having ice cream or something like that. But it really does take someone to come from a country where public health care is not accessible to every single person, right? And be able to enjoy the fact that it's there for everybody. I don't feel comfortable with me having full access to healthcare and knowing that my parents don't. That's problematic for me. I think that everybody should have healthcare, access to it, and particularly now in the United States with COVID-19 and how African American communities are being hit the hardest because a lot of people in our community, in my community, don't have access to healthcare. And people typically just don't want to go to the doctor because they're afraid of dealing with, you know, medical bills and stuff like that. And you go to the hospital and you don't know if you can come out without having $50,000 debt. I mean, it really does condition you to believe like you only need to go to the hospital.
That's insanity and an extreme. If anybody ever saw the film John Q with Denzel Washington, it's kind of an extreme example put into dramatic form, making kind of a metaphor on the whole American healthcare system. In the film, his son gets very, very sick and he's going to die in a matter of weeks. And he needs a procedure, but the father's health insurance doesn't cover the procedure, and it's like $300,000. So he ends up taking the hospital hostage.
Or go see the doctor when your arm is literally broken or like your limbs are falling off. You know what I mean? And it's sad. But of course, there's benefits to that. Like, you know, you have more money at your disposal. But I personally am so willing, and they can take as much money as they want for my healthcare. Whenever I need to go see the doctor, I can go see the doctor. Having that sense of security, and it's just... I love it. I will never get over it. I'm sorry, guys, again, but healthcare is lit, okay? America, we need to do something about the healthcare system in the United States.
The Yukon has so much to see and do.
Probably won't happen, especially under DT.
You can drink water literally from the mountains. I mean, I have never been to Colorado, nor have I been to, like, you know...
I mean, you can. There's always an inherent risk in doing that, but okay.
Rocky Mountains are a lot of American natural, you know, heritage sites and stuff like that. But what I have noticed is that the water here is very clean, particularly here in Munich. The waters that we have in the rivers that flow, especially through English Garden, all of that water comes from the German Alps. Even when you go to places like Austria, the water comes and there literally are signs saying, you know, you do not need to buy water. Just take a water bottle that you have brought or whatever and fill your water up with fresh mountain water. It's actually really nice because Germans, they really, really connect with the nature. A lot of Germans like going camping.
Is that true?
And fill your water up with fresh mountain water. It's actually really nice because Germans, they really, really connect with the nature. A lot of Germans like going camping. So, I mean, I've even begun to exercise a little bit more and jogging, and I gave up my gym membership now and I'm trying to run a mile a day. And the water is very fresh. A lot of it is drinkable. You know, I really do think like, it's just so nice. It's really nice. I mean, I've lived in countries where you can't drink the tap water. You can drink the tap water in Germany. You can also drink the water coming down from the mountains and stuff.
I've drank a lot of like rivers and stream water in my life, but there's always a risk to it because there's a chance of bacteria being higher up in the water stream. You know, dead animals, whatever it is, like nature. Like a grizzly bear kills a deer and leaves its carcass on the edge of the river. All that bacteria is coming down the river, or poop, whatever, right? Like there's always a chance of getting sick from it. But it's gonna, yeah, of course it looks incredibly pristine and clear and crisp and fresh, but I'm just saying, I don't know.
Yeah. So that's something to look forward to when you're in the mountains and there's like a current coming from down, and you can usually take your water bottle and you can drink the water. Usually they have signs that says like, okay, this water is drinkable, but I just thought I've never experienced something like that. I'm from Michigan and we have 5 Great Lakes. Never once has it crossed my mind to take a water bottle and like dip the water bottle in Lake Erie and drink that water. Never, ever would I ever do that. And maybe, I don't know if people who are watching this video that are from the States, and maybe if someone's from Mississippi or live by the Mississippi River, maybe you can tell me if you would drink the Mississippi water from the Mississippi
Probably
River.
not.
I don't know if I would, because like, yeah, but in Germany, that's an option. The German dream. In the 21st century, I think the American dream is too expensive for the average 25-year-old. Majority of the people that I've gone to school with will not own property. I feel like the German dream here is to just work, to live, and chill out. Very few people own houses here. A lot of people rent. I honestly don't know why. Maybe someone in the comments can explain to me why is it that that's common amongst Germans that they don't want to own property. But I thought that was very interesting. Very few people own properties here or have the intention of owning property. Like I know
there's a lot of benefits and negatives to that, I suppose, and a lot of costs and things that you don't have to pay for on the flip side. So
people who have families who don't, and make really good money, they don't want to own property. So I just think that the way of living here is, in Chinese we say 不慌不忙. It's just very calm, very chill, very relaxed. I think the German dream, and my interpretation of living here after 9 months, is to work hard, play hard, travel, do your thing. I know people who are literally paying $1,400, $1,500, and they're paying for rent. I'm like, well, don't you think it's actually better for you in the long run to own the property?
Mortgage.
And many people don't see it that way. They're like, nope, I'm good. I have other ideas. I'm like, okay, well, many Americans I think would think like, oh, well, I need to eventually own property. But yeah. All right, so guys, those are the 7 things that I think that Germany does that really, really outshines the United States, especially coming from a very, very work hard country. The American dream for me is really expensive, and I've begun to reshape basically my objectives about what is it that I want to acquire in life and what do I want to accomplish. I really do think that Germany has this, work to live culture down, 28 days minimum vacation. There's a huge separation between work-life and work-life balance. There's work-life balance is amazing in Germany, and I really do think that a lot of Germans, they really know how to live. The food is good. I mean, Europe in general.
It sounds like that would be a deterrent against losing employees too, like because I feel like in North America there's probably a lot of burnout in certain jobs and positions where people just like they have enough and they got to take some time off, right? And I think Germany's way of doing it, and I'm sure a lot of other European countries as well, where you give employees a proper work-life balance, and you're going to retain those employees for longer periods of time, and they're going to be happier, and they're going to do a better job. So,
I mean, the food is delicious. In many ways, I feel like I've already retired. Germany has been really good, and yep, it's almost 10 months. So thank you guys for watching this video. Consider subscribing to my channel if you like videos like this where I
Tony almost retired.
Post videos.
What's he doing? What does he do? What does he do for work? If anybody knows, let me know in the comments. Interesting perspectives there. I think the thing about vacation time, that's fantastic that you guys have that amount right off the bat, almost a month of vacation time. Yeah. All right. Tschüss.